Meet Crystal. She's a highly skilled expert in commercial real estate, but instead of using her brain to evaluate properties, she spends her days buried under a mountain of tedious data entry. Every day, she reads through dense commercial leases, plucking out specific clauses, and manually transferring that information into another system. Forcing a highly trained mind to perform basic copy and pasting wastes human capital and destroys office morale. If you look online for a way out of this trap, you will hear the exact same advice: build an agent. The prevailing trend is to design fully autonomous AI that handles the entire process from start to finish, completely unsupervised. But granting a machine total autonomy over a workflow introduces massive risk. An over-engineered AI integration might hallucinate a critical piece of lease data or execute a command that accidentally deletes vital company files before anyone even notices. We are caught between two terrible options. Manual labor is agonizingly slow, but fully automated AI infrastructure is brittle and highly destructive to business operations. To stay competitive as these tools become a commodity, businesses have to abandon both extremes. The real skill is knowing exactly when to let the machine run and exactly when human intuition must override machine speed. Instead of trying to engineer complex software, the first step is actually process documentation. You have to perform a workflow teardown. This means dissecting a daily task to isolate the exact moments that require cognitive decision-making and separate them from purely mechanical execution. Once isolated, you don't need a custom application. You can just write a markdown file. This is a simple document of repeatable text instructions that you can paste directly into a standard AI chat window. By feeding this basic text framework into a browser, you test the logic. You prove that the workflow is actually repeatable before anyone writes a single line of code. Designing these clear instructions eliminates daily friction and secures real value for a company, long before they spend a single dollar on complex software integrations. This strategy relies on building a human intervention layer, and Crystal's commercial real estate leases are the perfect test case. Ideally, the AI surfaces the raw data, but then forces the workflow to halt for human review. Then, having an employee manually copy and paste that filtered data is often safer than building an API bridge that might break. Employees can optimize this interaction even further by changing how they prompt the machine. A standard prompt asks the machine to do the work and hand you a finished output. An advanced prompt commands the machine to stop and ask the user questions. Forcing the AI to interrogate you extracts the unwritten expert knowledge sitting in your head, converting your instinctual habits into a structured, replicable system. Inserting these intentional human checkpoints prevents minor errors from compounding into disasters. It elevates the employee out of the role of a data processor and turns them into a strategic editor. The return on investment for this intervention strategy is immediate. Crystal reclaimed a sixth of her working year. She directly saved the company $10,000 in lost productivity, and she kept her job. By systematically offloading the tasks that don't require her expertise, Crystal created the bandwidth to focus on high-level property strategy. She essentially automated the employee version of herself so she could finally act like a director. This shift is necessary because of the speed of the current tech market. Any complex, expensive AI software integration a company builds today will likely become a free, commoditized feature within 6 months. Value in an AI-driven economy comes from the human capacity to interpret data, organize chaotic processes, and apply practical solutions to real-world friction. Isolate the most annoying manual task in your current workflow. Let the AI handle the 90% that requires mechanical execution, and weaponize your human brain for the final 10% that actually closes the deal.